per enrollment. Break that down for yourself. What is my goal for 2024? We have any number of schools. Delphina, what are you going to hit this year? What's your target?
You're on
A
mute.
million.
Yeah. Okay. So your target's $1 million, and
Yes.
so that means you need 83,000 a month on average to hit $1 million. And you've been a little behind that for the first half of the year, so you got to accelerate and end up in the 90s. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So
We'll
you're right.
get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're on track. You're on track. In the thriving metropolis of El Paso, Texas.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. So Ben, what's your target for the year?
I haven't aggregated those numbers yet, sir.
Okay. If your fighter doesn't know whether the goal is to win or lose,
Oh, I'm not going to argue with you there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have been prioritizing my fighters than my annual expectations. I hear you, sir.
Yeah. But what are you at for the year so far? About 400?
Yeah, we've been averaging $65,000 to $70,000 a month.
Yeah.
On track for 75,000 this month.
Okay. So I was pretty much on target, a little over 400. And so really all you need to do is have a little bit of a continued growth the direction you're going to be $1 million, right? So
Holy crap. When I first signed up with you, I thought you were full of shit, sir. Pardon my language, but you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. Like, you gave me this timeline and it's going to happen.
yeah.
$1 million school. Are you kidding me? My God. So thank you. Yeah, you're right. It's going to happen soon.
By the way, we're going to clip that piece and use it. Bob, you just made a note of the timeline, didn't you? My favorite ones are when we were in Florida and Colby Winkler. And Colby, I don't see him or his son on the meeting today, but Colby's kind of soft spoken, and getting him to repeat this was the hardest thing because we didn't have it on video. But he said, we said something like, what took you so long to get around to doing this, and why did you take so long? And he said, well, all my friends had told me you were an asshole. And but then I came to a webinar or something you did, and I did one of the things you told me to, and did an extra $20,000 and said maybe I should listen to him, not to them. And I tried forever to get him to repeat, I had been told you're an asshole. And then as soon as I listened to you, never could quite get that out of him. Could we, Bob? We got pretty close. But my favorite ones are, I didn't believe you. I thought you were full of shit. And yet what I found was, right. But in order to be at $1 million, let's run the numbers. So I'm going to assume that you're at 400,000 this year. Sounds like you might be a tick over that, right?
Yeah, that's fairly close though, sir.
Yeah. So $1 million minus 400, I could even do that math in my head with a calculator on my phone. That's 600 divided by 6. You just need an average of 100,000 a month for the balance of the year, right? So, or you need to be on the trend line of next month's 85, and then November, December is 120. Either way, you're over $1 million, right?
And for what it's worth, I've been slow to roll out my leadership program. So I just got my program director. I freed up enough time to kind of start recruiting into that. Like, I think that's feasible. I think that's.
Oh, I'll tell you what. How many active students do you have now?
Ballpark 250.
250. And when you started with us, you were doing 16,000 a month. How many students did you have?
I had no idea. Honestly. Like, I thought it was like above 300 because that's what was in my database. I didn't even know who was showing up to class.
Okay. Fair point. So we fixed that right away. But let's say that you were doing 16,000, really had about 100 people showing up. Does that sound about right? Yeah.
That's generous.
Yeah. So now you're bumping up on 300 active. You're in the $75,000 a month this month number. And again, what'll happen is if you do it right, the renewal part will be 2/3 of your gross.
Yeah, and we're just refining that process right now. So I'm starting to find it's easier to kind of keep track of who's up, who thumping the melons, making sure that they're all prepped and pre-framed, and then it's starting to go smoother and smoother. And then I'm just going to mass produce the process, and I do see a big uptick in the monthly gross
Yeah. Very
because
good.
I literally had no idea what I was doing, and I just kept making more and more money. It was ridiculous. So yeah,
That,
It's-
so this shit works.
this shit seems to be working, sir.
Yes. Okay. Okay. On that note, um, um, I mentioned on Tuesday, but that new book, we just got proof copies of it. We'll mail you all physical copies, but this, 6 Simple Steps to Add 100 New Students, we're releasing that in July. Um, uh, you guys will get a physical copy sometime in July, but the digital copy is in the group. Feel free to share the digital copy. We'll get a better looking version of the digital copy. But I'd love to have a 5-10 minute video if you love it and think that other people should get it. Love to have a 5-10 minute video of you guys praising it and saying that. If you hate it and think that nobody should ever talk to me, feel free to share that opinion. And we won't share that with anyone else. So on that note, have a wonderful Canada Day. Happy July 4th. Do some solid planning for the year. Congratulations in advance to Delfino for $1 million year this year. Congratulations to Ben for $1 million year this year. Sam, hopefully you're going to be on the same track. Are you on track for $1 million year?
Not quite, sir, not quite, but that is definitely the goal. Yes, sir.
We got to pick up the pace a little bit there.
Yes, sir, definitely.
And we got to get Niagara Kung Fu to be on that pace, even if it's in Canadian. So not in dollars worth a dollar, but dollars worth 75 cents. Okay. So on that note, we'll call it a day.
Thanks
Mr.
for
Dunn, you
everything,
want to
Ross.
hang out with us for a second?